I don't get the LS pen though.
I played into Rev quite a bit, and I've played both his Naga and his Troll, and they are spooky, spooky, spooky heroes when they are in his hands. So I get it. It's just so much heal, especially with the new facets. Oh my god, they decided to charge in onto Gabala. Gabala might be out of position here. Gets off the scatter shot, but oh, down she goes. As Prey took the Watcher back, and he's just sort of hiding in position.
Yeah,
It looks like they want to deal with Gachi here, and they're bringing the Sand King down. But
he's got his Yashikaya, 2 parts of it Aghanims. He's just keen.
Looks like they don't really call this bluff, right? Like, the Sand King ult is up there. He's got an Eternal Shroud. He can live against that Zeus, but they've just been.
Yeah.
One here, or are they running the Tiny as a one?
So AU Rejects have done something brilliant here. Gubala has played Snap 3 earlier in the tournament. Snapfire can be a mid who wants to play into Shadow Fiends. Because you can't play
can we just talk about that? Can we talk about the Zeus? I'm seeing an axe called into a Zeus ult, and I'm seeing a dead Morphling. Thinking about diving this Tiny. Tiny, you need to be careful. You've stepped out of position and the big bear is coming for you. They elect not to finish him off because they think that the zombie can. And Tiny gets it to get out of there. Oh, both of these teams are making mistakes, but both of these teams are making sick plays. This is good Dota. This is the kind of Dota that you can feel the pressure on these teams, right? They're so close. Prey is running now, and he's a very fast hero. Tiny, hungry, goes for the beach ball play, and is absolutely successful with it. Love a beach ball play. Used to get those all the time back in my day. Oh, the
only good counter to the Spirit Breaker because of the Demonic Purge completely rips off Bulldoze. And it will also pull off the attack speed on Ursa. So those 6 hits, he's even going for a Halberd on Sand King. He's doing anything he can to live. Tiny's almost got Yules, the bench has the Ags, but yeah, they have no item progression on...
Oh, there is a Zeus ult, and down goes the Morph. The Morph must have been top and got called by the Axe, I imagine. I didn't see it, but I imagine we'll see those.
I would have to imagine so, right?
Man's just trying to sink some beers and have a good night, and you're coming in here and just harshing his vibe in the biggest way possible. Report Gabala ruining my vibes, dude.
We would have had a much closer mid-game, but just... having a Necro that's top net worth the entire game and still being down 2k just based off lanes is really rough. Never know what's gonna happen. He could just randomly get caught out 2 or 3 times here and destabilize the entire game.
Well, that's just Morphling players, right? Sometimes you feed, even the best players in the world. And it's having a pretty good game. We haven't really felt Necro's impact in this early game, and I didn't really expect to see Necro have much impact. Especially from position 1, right? He just wants to farm.
Yeah.
To the captain of this division. You've got these, 7 teams, all pretty spooky. How are you preparing? Are you watching Riyadh at the moment? Because obviously, if you're interested in Dota at all, you're better and better and better. We've got Team Dog Cage, Australian Painters, AU Rejects. Like these are some awesome teams this season.
Yeah.
I'm gonna walk away here.
1200 HP. I don't think he's dying there.
Jesus, also
he's getting a lot of farm here. I gotta give him credit on the axe.
For a second, and grabbed midair. They do have that big, scary Undying on top of them. It looks like Reverie's deciding to deal with the Tombstone as quickly as he can. He doesn't want that in his fight, and down traditional, and not super strong. But there are a lot of answers to Morphling on support heroes. Nope, they decide to take the axe. That's a classic Morphling.
So, what you're saying is not completely wrong, right? I understand they just completely...
Am I still right? Zeus still has the percentile drain to get through that huge Morph HP pool?
Yes, and he also has a shard that lets him auto-attack. Oh, is this a Hancho George?
Dire Draft seems like the easier draft to execute, but... I've been proven wrong before. I'm sure you remember the Venomancer from last night, so let's see what they...
Let's see. Brawlhalla, my dreams are answered.
This is what we want to see. This is proper Dota. It's a slobber knocker.
Oh my God,
The only
yeah.
downside is
Hilarious.
trying to keep the camera in the right place at the right time because there's so
Yeah.
much action going on. Speaking. Now, is obviously this seems like a respect ban, and we're seeing things like the Broodmother being banned because they're actually just super strong in the meta right now. Do you think Axe is Ember leads into?
That Ember is for Winching. I 100% guarantee you they did not want Winching to be playing Ember because I have not seen him play anything else in the last 3 months.
Okay.
Not catch a break in game 2. They're getting absolutely decimated. To say,
They are.
Like, look at their scorelines. 1-6 Morphling, 2-10 Vengeful Spirit, which is they will just be doing some kind of counter on whatever mid that is picked.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Well, we see the Necro come out. Now, Necro IO is a combo, and a pretty spooky dooky combo. The heal is... Though this Ursa might be a little bit out of position, he's going to try and take what he can, because he did get that Wisdom Rune, but I think they'll take his life in return. Swap back, get stunned. Shadow Demon, you need to be careful. That is a big scary bear.
George gets the Agonyms. He's going to control all of the go-in from Radiant and just nullify the crap out of it. Silly what Gooby's done with his build, but when he went in, he did heal like 800 health off his Dagon. So they are doing it, but I don't know if they're going to be able to continue to do it as the game progresses.
More from Power Rangers. Now, I wasn't watching you guys until they told me I should be, and now I've got my eyes firmly set on you. Somehow you snagged Oct as your 5, and he is performing, man. That guy's got thinking about the double rampage. Do they want Reverie? Are they going to hunt him? Gachi's in, doing what he can, but he's taking a whole bunch of damage from that fountain. They still haven't secured the racks. Annoying purple ball to release their target. So, yeah, alright. I don't know.
I think that 2.5 seconds will make the difference in this kind of lineup. Giving the Venge time to line up the swap, giving the Tiny time to come in with the...
And his team is here. Out comes the ult. Johnny gets the swap off to try and interrupt that Shadow. Oh, hang on. Shadow Demon is on the sideline. Can he throw any...
1k lead, but they still were up almost 2k. Just from how well top went and how well mid was going to go with the Invoker pick.
Yep. Necro's still on top of the net worth chart, though, at this stage. So, alright. Well, like, let's take a second to just calm down. Think for a second. You're AU rejects. You come out with this oddball draft.
So impressive comeback. He did backlanding, which I didn't think is possible against a Shadow Demon, simply just because of disruption makes it impossible to drag creeps. And then he just...
That is a spicy little start. Gachi, stun comes out onto him. He needs to be a little bit careful, but Wing Xing is here now on that Undying, and it's in his name. He'll make sure Gachi... They're like hiding in the trees from an axe that is everywhere. This cow non-stop charging poor Johnny again and again. Johnny finishes that game with 19 deaths. Let's have a look how many times the Spirit Breaker was involved in trying to get some damage onto you as well. Missed the axe call because of the swap. Beautiful play there from Johnny, and down goes the cow. Okay, they're in action. If they eliminate this cow, they might actually be able to play this fight. Vengeful is running, but the Shadow Demon goes down to the Dagon and the dunk. Goes that Undying. Gachi is here to play though, and it looks like the Dire team needs to run away because Gachi is hungry. He is a big, fat, juicy bear, and he finds Johnny just like that. The Zeus is enough to wrap that kill for him. Raccoon is diving, and down goes Tiny as well. That's a 5-man wipe! It's a 5-man wipe!
The entire team is gone. What the hell? It's such a good counter this game as well. It makes it impossible for like the Zeus to buy a 4-star. It's one of the strongest ways to remove bulldoze.
Oh, there's three heroes on bottom, and they're hunting Tiny. Tiny needs. You're expecting to see some that same competition, that same fire tonight as well, huh?
I think so. Yeah, these two teams on paper should be relatively close, right? But yeah, it's super exciting.
I'm worried though because part of the reason that this Sand King is like seeing play once again after such a long period of just being in the. Oh, this IO. The IO gank is here, and then we see the tiny toss, and that is an enormous amount of damage. They try for the beach ball play. It doesn't really play off. The troll holders out. Can he get the root? No.
I haven't seen a Shadow Demon very much. I do think it's one of the. I think it's like a timeless hero. If I had to.
It's just so
put
good.
It down.
It just does so much. It does so much.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're moving on to the tier 4s, and it's 47 seconds till that Morphling comes back, and he does not have buyback. Slaughter Gang need to start thinking about what it is they can do to wrap this game up. Win decides to just let that IO burn. Okay.
It's a throwaway. It's a throwaway IO.
Yep.
If he ever gets caught, you don't really care too much. It's
just yet, but they pop the Zeus off to try and finish him. Oh dear god, he's trying to switch to strength. He's trying as hard as he can. He's caught in that Zeus Aghanim Scepter with the refresher, but he manages to slink out. And I don't know how you enjoy playing it. But there are some IO players out there who'll know exactly what I'm talking about when you say you have so much impact and control of the game as this hero. It's the macro that makes this game fun, not necessarily. The Tiny himself, the Tiny himself is going to be struggling with mana into this Invoker, and you mentioned the runes. I've seen really good Invoker players just summon their spirits to go and deny those runes right and fine. Johnny is duking and diving in the trees, but just can't quite make it there. That was so much damage from the toss, the avalanche, the scatter blast. Holy! Down by Gabala again! Gabala just making this guy's life absolute just absolute hell, dude! Christ, Gabala, give him a break! Give him a goddamn break! Is it going to be enough? Remember, Zeus can scout that little crab inside his sand pit. Is there any vision here for him to get the charge? There is. They're onto Johnny again. But there's the defensive disruption we were talking about. Johnny doing his best to try and get out of there, but there is a Zeus. Hope to see a high skill Shadow Demon. Somebody who can play it much better than me. I'm keen to see that in action. That's super exciting.
I can almost guarantee that's going to be an RFA Shadow Demon.
Oh, the Rubik from last game. Nice.
Yeah, it's going to be an insane.
Fat Bear underneath their tier 3, but they sort of have enough to deal with him. He pops his BKB and just wants to pour it out of there, but now Zeus and Winxing need to be careful because the rest of the team is going to be running after them. No vision.
But he's
Axe lurking on the side.
So it doesn't actually count as a death, it just gives the gold to Huncho. And a
Gachi is sprinting in. Prays on the sideline to try and interrupt him as he goes in, but there is the
the upper division is very healthy this season. We actually have 7 teams this time. A lot of them are relatively balanced compared to each other. We don't have there are maybe 1 or 2 teams who might end up being the favorites.
Snapper likes to fire her ult here, but she's next to a troll that has his own ult. Toss forward onto the other heroes to get a little bit of a stun. The glick comes out to root him in place, and now Tiny's caught out of position by Andros, and he is gone as well. He coming back to lane. Just, doing tiny things. I'm gonna come back, hit a few creep, and the moment he arrives, he is EMP'd and completely ran out of mana. Which must be the most frustrating thing in the world. Huncho's up here having a look. At this stage of the game, Gabala is trying to get away from Reverie. Reverie putting the damage down, but not quite enough. Axe is able to walk away here, and it looks like it turns into a tier 3 bit of nothing. The tiny toss back into the tower. She gets the scatter shot off so that she can sort of slip away there, but she still is very low, and Rubik has a fair bit of right-click damage. Down goes Gabala to the Rubik's.
Right, it breaks the way you want to play Dota. It just doesn't work anymore.
Here we go.
Smoke Tiny is getting a lot of like push bottom, but the cow
Hancho,
just like
you need to be
zooms
careful
in
because your teleport just got interrupted, and you did
Zuma.
secure that kill.
Harold's getting rich here. You okay? You saw the impact this guy had last game with no gold.
Oh, meanwhile,
Reveries down again.
Reveries down again.
The blink reveal. Oh my god, I've missed it twice. Did you?
Rubik. I cannot count
Rubik.
the amount of times I keep seeing this hero getting picked. I think this hero sucks. Like, I think it's...
Continue to play. If the Sand King ever gets to Ags, he has Shivas already, they're going to have so much trouble playing into it. They only have one BKB across their entire team. Obviously, Zeus is never going to buy it, but they need more players to be able to get in at the start of the game.
Also, just shout out to my chat. It is pronounced Lalul. There's two L's, okay? So it's
I thought it was Laurel.
No, it is Lal. They decide not to bring the vision to save the to kill the Invoker, and the Invoker is saved. Just walking away there. Young Harold strolling back to mid. Tiny trying to give him some mana. Hold on. Johnny's caught once again, and there's the dunk. Nice. Okay. Yeah, it was a clone, but...
which Manta are we talking about? What are we talking
the Manta on the Morphling. I know he's had a...
Yeah.
Okay, so
we
are seeing it better again. We're seeing Invoker really take a bit of a lead here in the mid lane. I think I expected that, right?
100%, yeah. So the...
We've got Gutti on Necrophos, Young Harold on Tiny, Gabala on Snapfire, Winxing on Io, Raccoon on Windranger, Huncho George on Invoker.
Forward. Getting at bottom's fine too, but it doesn't have like the same momentum that they want.
That was 900 gold to that Tiny as well. That's a lot of gold. Going the way of a hungry little support. Although looks like Raccoon wants to dive, he wants that Rubik, but the Blood Grenades has come out on Raccoon himself, and he goes down, and now Gabala in a bit of trouble. That Troll has a wand. Gabala, you need to run, and that's it. That's a double kill in the top lane, straight off the... you're gonna see some saves coming out from Shadow Demon if he's in the right place. So Axe Core goes off, Disruption comes out, and all of a sudden AU Rejects just has to stand there and wait for that.
Fighting, and fighting off screen is what I mean. And it just keeps happening every time.
Hey, shard up on Shadow Demon, one of the better shards in the game. He's running, and he manages to slip away. Zeus ult.
The ulti, but too late.
Too late.
He does the refresh as well. Yeah. Kick sells when he can get that one spell off that hero, and then make it do a one shot on another hero.
And tell me, what do you think about the way that the facets, obviously...
And the spell lamp. Oh my god. 65% movement speed as damage. What the hell is that?
Isn't Tiny supposed to be one of the thickest heroes this meta? Even as a support? A whole bunch of damage, and Johnny goes down. There is a bear lurking on the sidelines. No, it's Gubala once again jumping on those supports on the back line. Gubala having a phenomenal game this game.
Could just go back into his roots of like playing LD, playing all these really memey pos ones. Maybe they get Gooby on Razor or something. I think it was completely overlooked. I don't even think it was banned. I don't know how to do that. Battlefield as well, yeah. Notice how the Tiny's opted to start with the Null Talisman as well really early, just because he needs the mana income. He just doesn't... He's not going to get these runes. Like, the Breaker will just take both water runes.
One of the biggest ball plays I've seen, but it might just save... No, it does not save the snap, but then the Avalanche comes out on top of that Invoker, and Invoker is absolutely annihilated. Power shot out to stop the blinks. They've got a few seconds. Avalanche... Big. A little bit of extra mana regen for the rest of the game. He'll love that.
Yeah, okay, as these fights keep going, the Dire just seem to be getting so much more out of them than the Radiant. Every fight that Dire wins is like a 3.
Okay.
Young Harold has Blink now. That is how impactful that engagement was for him. This is the Tiny who had phase boots at like 12 minutes, now has Blink before 15. I told you, he's a comeback king.
Axe does have a blink dagger, and the charge is going to connect. Does Axe elect to blink?
He's clipped the Morphling! He's dead!
He dunks the Morphling again! This Morphling! And Aftershock. And there was some interaction there that would permanently lock people into a stun, so hopefully they don't pick a punch and we don't see that sort of action. Hey, Troll comes out. And I feel like we see more of these. Monkey goes, good to see Monkey. It looks like Slaughter Gang are focusing some real meta heroes rather than target banning, at least from what I can understand.
I do look like an idiot, but it's really hard to predict because they're doing some silly stuff as well.
Yeah, I can't predict it either, so don't you worry.
Yeah, Evoker mid, pos 1 troll.
Now the supports are here to back him up. Is there anything here that they can find some traction on? The ult goes out onto the Undying, and that is a lot of damage coming out from Johnny, and down goes the Undying. Hey, Undying, especially when you've got the cow stacking up on top. Who did? Yeah, the cow did 1,300 damage. The cow did 1,300 damage. God.
The last pick Zeus has really paid off here. The Vision game Coon on 9.3, it's very similar to the POS 3 on Gooby. They just don't have the damage to go through these guys, and they don't quite have the survivability after the Invoker gets a very quick Vessel.
Blink Dagger's 40 gold away on the Mars. That's a 13-minute Blink Dagger. In a Necro lane too, so pretty impressive.
Yeah, he's made up for his duration. Yeah, 6 for a hero. Gives you 40 AoE, which basically means the radiance gets massive. So 650 radius, more like at least 700 on average, and more likely like 850 to 9.
And they're playing with fire here. This is a Morphling.
They're just BMing them at this point. Taunting Reverie in the fountain, knowing his team doesn't
my
have
lord, he gets a bash, but now Gachi's pinned in the corner.
He did his own reflexes and is now unable to get the strength morph off from the axe, and that's why he's been dying this. Like
yeah, me too.
Times.
That's why I always get dunked as Morphling as well.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah,
a little bit tippy.
Coming with him, and I think they're about to try and shut this axe down as fast as they can. He gets the taunt off, but he's already switched to strength, so he's okay. Gabala trying to hide in the trees, but Hunter George is here with the stun, and that axe is dead. Okay. Nice for Spirit Breaker. He's pinned to that tree, the Invoker's here, and I don't think that Necro is going to be around much longer. Beautiful setup from the boys. Well played. Well played.
Seems that Winching might just be sacrificial lamb here. They want to get the Necro with the smoke, but Winching just dewards. Yeah, I think he protected Gachi there. They would have just run straight across.
Plays. Now I'm looking at the map, and I'm seeing a lot of good vision from Radiant. They've managed to sort of...
Sorry, can you finish off and I'll chime in?
No, you go. Go ahead.
It's a consequence of the Spirit Breaker, right? This guy who's...
Lord on top of RFA's Rubik. Uh-oh!
Before all that happened, the Spirit Breaker actually just warded, and the entire fight happens on...
Hero represented a bit, and it's strong. Shadow Fiend is so strong, so I'm glad to see it removed from the game.
It's being skipped. Sorry, I don't mean to butt in too much, but I'm surprised they skipped the Shadow Fiend until...
in their way back into it.
There's still 20k in the hole, but it's possible, you know? They scout out the vision using the Zeus, so like...
Oh, charge through into John. It's a run, but that's a little cheeky kill to the bear there.
First hit bash, man.
What I was gonna say,
that you can work, like, to actually still have a game no matter what. And this is also a really well-balanced hero to set up for the last pick, where I'm sure Hunter copying it and then sending it back right back at them.
They're feeling themselves and they're getting a bit cheeky. I just saw Raccoon use his charge to try and make it to the Wisdom Rune before the...
One of the oldest players.
Did you after last night, because I did shout it out on stream, have you signed my petition to have Hoodwink removed from the game? And everyone out there in Twitch chat, I do have the petition up, so please go and get that hero.
Kills, at least, right?
And we did see the Shadow Demon having the impact that we expected it to have. And where it was like saving this Morphling, we did have the swaps from Johnny to keep...
God, did you just see the level 2 little shredder?
Oh, I did not, but looks like Reverie needs to run out of there as fast as he can. I saw little IO positioning himself. What I did see, though, was Tiny...
That's alright. The whole goal is to get farm without like showing on the map and without like putting yourself in danger. But he's just not able to do it because the cow will just charge through and insta-kill his illusions no matter what.
Well, Gachi's going to try and man-fight the Reverie here. Reverie switching to Strength to try and get away. And it looks like he may just do it. Shadow Demon pops the ult on top of Gachi. They're thinking about it, but the rest of...
Illusion Hero is insane.
I love a good Dota name, a good, like, playful Dota name, like Noseholder. Last night I had the pleasure of being able to shoutcast Tasmanians on his Rubik, one of the boys of Dog. So it's interesting to see that they do put a lot of value on these comfort heroes, because we're seeing that reflect in the pro scene, right? You've got players, really dominant players like Amar Stone. It's just like playing old Sand King. Your Sandstorm just becomes so big, so it is being picked a little bit more, at least in the pro scene at the moment. But that's my
dire whatsoever. I mean, Morphling did get his Lincolns, but the Dagon unironically also breaks that as well. Meanwhile, Ursa's gonna have BKB.
Charge in on Honcho.
Cross and killed him if the Ire wasn't in the way, but they really didn't want to break on the Ire, of course.
600 gold off the Radiance, so you know, on the Necro. So might be looking at that 15-minute timing, maybe even earlier. If you game on this Spirit Breaker, did you say that Raccoon plays a lot of Spirit Breaker, or is this like a?
How the hell did he get up there? Look at where he's standing and look at the wall
he slipped past. He slipped past Prey, and the whip comes out. Looks like they're still looking for Win Xing. Shadow Demon's died somewhere in the background that I didn't quite catch, but it looks like Axe jumps in to get a good call, but he's delayed by the Avalanche Toss, and now, ooh, is he in trouble? I've been wrong before.
I'd say he needs to get active around the 15-minute mark with his Shard. He needs to purchase Radiance and Shard on the dot at 15 if he wants to have any hope of winning this.
Here's a question. You're talking about finding an answer for the Morphling as a core, but I've seen Undying played as a 3, and I've seen Spirit Breaker played as a 3. Not Hunter George on Sand King, Prey on Tiny, Johnny on Vengeful Spirit, RFA on Shadow Demon, and Reverie on Morphling. Now Johnny on Vengeful Spirit makes Vengeful Spirit a Hold on, is there a play? The supports are up in 3 or 4 seconds, but Gachi is huge, has a Lincolns, has his BKB, and has his Basher. Do they have anything to deal? The double D. Oh, Gachi's hungry, jumping in cover. Johnny Spirit, Johnny, you need to get out of there. And Huncho's what? Does it again within like 20-30 seconds. He's just comes in with another phenomenal 3-man call, gets the triple dunk. Oh, I must have felt magnetized. A stun had come out from a support to keep me in position, and then that Dagon burst was enough to just keep me alive, keep me in the fight, especially now he's lost his strength scaling.
I reckon they might take out they might take out Void Spirit. Oh no, Faceless Void.
Faceless Void.
I was completely wrong with that. I was thinking maybe they want to. They're looking in 3 Mars. They're just going to play around the arena. I think they'll play slow.
Seems simpler to execute, right? Like it's a Mars ult, it's a Troll ult, it's an Invoker winning his lane and rotating. Like this seems like the
game squad is built up from the lanes.
You know, I'm not surprised that Dai was caught off guard by that play, because it shocked me so hard I couldn't get my words out to just see all
the Dire Vision, 2 wards, one of them old, one of them placed just as the fight breaks out, and it's just turning into a bit of a vision difference here. Necro got a lot of damage out that fight, but it's just nothing in comparison to...
They're going to try and shut this Axe down. He still does have his tower, so his team can come if they want him. And Huncho does have a whole lot of damage on this Sand King, but his Spidey senses are tingling. But they're starting to feel him out. They've got vision on him, and the Invoker's rotating over. Mars is here. The slow comes out. Big zap from the Rubik. He throws off his Ghost Shroud, but then the stun comes out immediately from the...
entirely, and opting for the Eternal Shroud instead because of how much damage the toss combo does to you.
Shadowblade on the Spirit Breaker at this stage.
It's going to start getting out of control.
There is a Glipney
until the Sand King whips out